Now I got a coach, and he's the best coach I could ever imagine. In 5 weeks' time, he brought my physique to this. Yes, I know I had some problems with my gyno. I know that. I had some problems with my abs as well. I know that. But I can only fix it, once I get the qualification. So thank God I fixed this, So now I have the time to go and do the operation, and fix everything that's needed. So I won't have any excuses at the Mr. Olympia. I want to thank you guys for coming here, the fans, the promoters, for arranging the show. Really appreciate you guys. Without you, there's no bodybuilding. Don't forget that. Thank you, judges.
All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. So you guys saw the intro to this video. This is going to be about William Bonac, specifically his victory speech at the 2022 Boston Pro, where he became the first ever champion of that show. And of course, picked up the qualification for the Olympia with a victory. Now, obviously, the noteworthy part about that speech was the fact that it was very emotional. And it was a very cool moment to see William Bonac victorious here after a controversial second place at the Arnold Classic. Now, I thought the coolest part of this speech was the fact that William Bonac directly acknowledged the gyno in the midsection. If you guys didn't see the video, that was exactly what the judges apparently said was the reason for him taking second at the Arnold Classic to Brandon Curry. The gyno that was noticeable, and specifically the abs and thighs pose and some of the side shots is where I saw it the most. And then the cloudiness in the midsection. But Bonac says in this video specifically that now that he's got the Olympia qualification, he can go back and get the surgery done to fix the gyno before the Olympia. And he also says he's going to have the midsection fixed by the Olympia, which I don't know what the issue was with that. I don't know if there's something medically going on with that, but he says he's going to have both of them fixed for the Olympia. But this is what bodybuilding should be all about. Bonac he could have took that criticism and been angry about it from the judges, or he could have took that criticism that he heard all these people saying and been mad, but instead he took it, not only did he address it, he addressed it in his victory speech. He said, I know I had this issue, I know I had that issue, but I'm going to fix it for the Olympia. This is the mindset of a champion, is not to get mad about some criticism, but to look at yourself and say, okay, that's true. I did have these issues. I need to do something about it, and I am going to do something about it for the next time that I step on stage. So you've got to imagine that if Bonac does fix these issues, which gyno is very, very addressable, it's very fixable. Even if he came into the Olympia with the exact condition and everything else that he came in to the Arnold Classic with and didn't have the gyno and didn't have the midsection issue, where would that put him in the Olympia? Would he beat Brandon at the Olympia? I think there's a chance that he does. And now he's working with Chad Nichols, who is the same guy that is coaching Big Ramy and has coached Big Ramy to his first Olympia victory and his second Olympia victory. Could 2022 be the comeback of the conqueror, William Bonac? I think it's entirely possible that maybe we see a standout year for him at the Olympia. And this is, like I said, this is what bodybuilding is all about. The past couple years, we saw William Bonac. He was slipping in placings. He wasn't doing as good. And it'd be very easy for a bodybuilding fan to look at that and say, like he said, people were telling me I should retire. It'd be very easy for a bodybuilding fan to say, look, he's done. He's not getting better. He's getting worse. His time at the Olympia is up. But this is this is a good bodybuilding story. This is what it's all about, is for him to say, okay, not only have I turned things around already, I was just runner-up at the Arnold Classic, but that wasn't good enough for him, and he went and won the Boston Pro. But I'm going to turn things around even more. I'm going to turn up the heat, and not only am I going to look as good as I looked here at the Arnold, here at the Boston Pro, I'm going to fix the issues that people say I have. And when you see me at the Olympia, I'm taking names. So I wanted to make sure that I pointed this out in a video that Bonac acknowledges, because I was really impressed by the fact that in his victory speech, he addressed those things. Criticism in bodybuilding is something that doesn't always go hand in hand. Bodybuilders sometimes have a tough time accepting it, but I really think this is the champion mindset that can lead somebody to winning an Olympia title that hasn't won a title yet. And Bonac is one of those guys. He's been top 2 at the Olympia. He's been best in the world behind Phil Heath. Well, Phil Heath isn't competing anymore. So what's the argument that Bonac couldn't win the Olympia? If he's been the best bodybuilder in the world besides Phil Heath, and Phil is now gone, who's to say Bonac couldn't win the whole show? And I just feel like we as bodybuilding fans, because that is the nature of the sport, right? Bodybuilding is judging a physique. So when someone doesn't do well, criticism is usually the first thing that people go to is, well, this was wrong or that was wrong. So for a bodybuilder to address that and say, I'm going to fix this, I really wanted to make sure we point that out too, because I feel like sometimes in the bodybuilding space, criticism becomes the overwhelming topic of conversation and not so much talking about guys that fix things or improved or look better than last year. And those are things that Bonac is doing, and I want to make sure he gets credit for that. So that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Where do you think Bonac will place at the Olympia if he does come in with those issues fixed? Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed yet already. As always, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.